Good afternoon, and welcome to Research College of Nursing's 2021 Winter Commencement. I am Rebecca Saxton, and I have the pleasure of being the Dean at Research College of Nursing. We are here today to celebrate the academic accomplishments of the individuals seated before me. Today's ceremony will honor 123 individuals for their hard work in our bachelor's and master's level nursing programs. Each year, the graduating classes nominate a student speaker for the undergraduate and graduate programs to deliver an address at the graduation ceremony. This year, the students selected Clemens as the BSN student speaker and Jennifer Strebe as the MSN student speaker. I'd now like to introduce you to Clemens.
Look around, ABSN, class of 2021. We did it. We finally figured out where to park. Say hi to your friends and family. You probably haven't actually seen them in the past year. And to my own family, I cannot thank you enough for the support and patience that you have given me over this past year. My mom gave me encouraging words, while my dad let me practice my head-to-toe assessment for him on FaceTime. My sister remembered when all my tests were so she could wish me luck, and my brothers, well, I'm not even sure they knew I was in nursing school, but thank you. Finally, I wanted to thank my husband, who has always made sure I was fed and had water, and he was my favorite study partner. I am fairly sure he could graduate with an honorary degree in nursing. And he is really good at recapping needles. For those of you who felt alone during this, I'm here to tell you that we did this, we got through this year, and I congratulate all of us on this accomplishment. Remember way back when, to last January, when we were starting patho and health assessment, where we learned about different diseases and what to look for in our patients while we were assessing them. I think some of us were so wide-eyed and confused, especially when we had to give each other bed baths and put diapers on one another. All of us looked at our stethoscope like, are we supposed to know how to use these? I'd put up my stethoscope to my partner, Alexis, and I was like, yeah, there's definitely a heart in there. And I think some of us are still a little bit confused how stethoscopes work, but I'm not naming names. Over time, we learned what we were looking for, and we felt like we just might be able to do this. Fast forward to starting clinical and understanding what it meant to be on the floor. I remember some of us would come back so excited, like, yeah, I helped my patient to the bathroom today. Or I held the supplies for my nurse while they were starting an IV. And those little things felt so momentous that we celebrated them with each other. For me, it only solidified why I went into nursing, though disappointingly in my OB clinical, I never once massaged a fundus. And for my non-medical friends and family out there, you don't want to know. Look it up if you're very curious. Still, so no matter where our clinicals were, we began to understand the fields and specialties that we were interested in. By now, family and friends were probably asking you for advice like, hey, I have this weird mole. And you're like, hold on, I haven't gotten that far into my nursing handbook yet. Still, clinicals were a defining moment in nursing, at least for me. It made me realize at the end of the day, whether you came home and felt appreciated or not, that we were slowly being shaped into nurses. My first preceptor, Esther, was amazing. I worked nights on the ortho-neurotrauma floor at Menorah. She told me something that will always stay with me. She said, Erin, our patients remember the little things you do for them. If you bring them a glass of ice-cold water, or remember to fluff their pillows, or even if you just listen to their story, that's what they're going to remember. If you keep going, we're now in Capstone. A lot of us are finally where we're going to start our nursing careers. We're growing, becoming more confident in our skills. Some of us ended up in the ICU. How does it feel to be better than everyone else? Some ended up in the ER. We get it. You like putting IVs in the bend of the arm, so every time a patient moves their arm, their IV pump goes off. At least it's not your problem once you transfer them to the floor, right? While some of us ended up in women's health where it's just babies and rainbows all day. But if you tell an ER nurse they've got a pregnant patient, then they're quaking in fear. For those in the OR, I hope you're good at karaoke and have an amazing playlist ready to go. And if you ended up in psych, you probably just noticed how stressed we were throughout this whole program. Finally, if you ended up in med-surg, you know you're the most hardcore of us all. No matter where you took a job, or even if you're still looking, we're now beginning our careers as healthcare workers, where people trust us and look up to us. It's our job to care for our patients and treat them with dignity. Even on our hardest days, our patients rely on us to get them through their worst days. It is our duty to be responsible for our patients of color and our people who are LGBTQ and who have been othered by society, to remember that they are vastly underserved in healthcare. As new nurses, we have the responsibility to be the change in healthcare. And we cannot truly be healthcare heroes if we do not advocate and use our privilege to listen and to grow. Research College of Nursing taught me to value every patient's stories. Research has shaped us all over this year to become the best version of nurses we can be. We have learned new skills, made new friends, and how to be advocates for our patients and ourselves. As you go forth in whatever field you have chosen, remember what you have learned here, to challenge and to push yourself, and to give yourself grace as you learn. Most of all, remember to do the little things for your patients. Congratulations, Archon Class of 2021. You did it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to stand in front of you all as a student representative of Research College of Nursing, Masters of Science in Nursing, cohort of 2021. It was a mouthful. I would like to thank all of our families and our friends for being here to show your support now, but also through our entire length of the program. Without your support, I can say with certainty that many of us would not have made it through. As we all know, anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you. I also want to extend our gratitude to the administration, faculty, preceptors, and additional staff that worked very hard behind the scenes to help us prepare for the next adventure in our careers. Our future paths have been shaped by you and this wonderful academic institution. And without you and your support, we would also not be here today. So we thank you very much. When I was asked to be a speaker tonight, I was initially flattered, but also terrified, because we as nurses work best in a team and not as a single. So standing up here before you tonight without my team behind me is daunting. But there you are in front of me, and now I consider every one of you as my team, and together we will get me through this. Where's that beta blocker when you need one? And the nurses will get that joke. Throughout this educational journey, I've had many people ask why I was going to go back to school and what inspired me to do so. Most of the time, they assume it's to become a nurse practitioner or a nurse anesthetist, so they're surprised when I tell them, nope, it's to become a nurse leader in healthcare. Why? Because nurse leaders solve problems you don't know you have in ways you can't fathom. You're welcome. But seriously, every one of us is going to be called upon throughout their careers many times to make difficult choices, decisions, and to stand a post. Being a nurse leader in healthcare isn't quite as sexy as those other two careers I mentioned, some might say. People assume it's probably thankless and full of problems and complaints, and no doubt we will have our fair share. But being a nurse leader to me is the most important and impactful job that I will ever have. Because of this program, the relationships we've made, faculty, peers, we will become champions of our profession, and we will have the capability to shape future generations of nurse leaders to come. The most impactful part of this program is that it pushed us to figure out who we are as current and future leaders. As Stephen Covey said, to be an effective leader, you must align yourself with your true north and know your values. It's difficult to lead a team without first knowing your why and who you are as a person. I've always said, you give a nurse the why and they will accomplish anything. Yes, we covered a myriad of topics from finance to performance improvement to informatics and many others, but it really all comes back to people. As Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. We will empower future nurses, we will influence teams to reach new heights, and we will shape the future of our profession. And most importantly, we will take care of the caregivers. That's really cool. Our actions as leaders will inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more. Working towards a master's degree is hard. Working towards a master's degree in nursing and leadership is much harder. Working towards a master's degree in nursing during a worldwide pandemic is, well, insane. But we all shared this experience of working full-time, many of us on the front lines, raising families and working towards this degree. Early on in the program, I can recall having conversations via text, full of doubt and fear with my classmates, and yet here we are, graduates, and I must say, better for the journey. Now it's time to keep going. We didn't give up, we didn't quit, because nurses just don't give up. We don't give up on each other, our patients, or our teams. It's just not in our DNA. A global pandemic hit, and we stood our post and attempted to better ourselves and our surroundings by achieving academic enrichment. In closing, it's with a heavy heart that I bid farewell to my classmates. We have made relationships and connections and friends that will span both of our careers and even our lifetimes. I believe, additionally, the network of kick-ass leaders we now have in each of our corners will be a wonderful bedrock to rely on. And please know that I will be calling with inquiries regarding best practice, latest trends in patient satisfaction, whatever it may be, or just a nudge in the right direction, and I promise to do the same. To the class of 2021, congratulations and cheers.
Thank you, Aaron and Jennifer. Now serving in his 9th term, representing Missouri's 5th Congressional District, Research College of Nursing is honored to have Representative Emmanuel Cleaver as today's keynote speaker. Having served 12 years on the City Council for Missouri's largest municipality, Kansas City, Mr. Cleaver was elected as the city's first African-American mayor in 1991. During his 8-year stint in the office of the mayor, he distinguished himself as an economic development activist and an unapologetic redevelopment craftsman. He and the City Council brought a number of major corporations to the city and led the effort to build the South Midtown Roadway, later named Bruce R. Watkins Roadway. Additionally, his municipal stewardship includes the 18th and Vine redevelopment, a new American Royal, the establishment of a family division of the municipal court, and the reconstruction and beautification of Brush Creek. Please help me welcome Representative Emmanuel Cleaver II.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate very kindly the opportunity to be with you, which meant that I had to do a very short sermon this morning and could legitimately say I had some other place to be with significant individuals. I'm honored to be here with you to the Research College of Nursing graduation, celebrating your great accomplishments. And I have a nice little cue speech here, but I think, just listening to you, I think I'll just do something on my own, just here. Most of you will not recognize the name Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth. He was a major leader in this country, one of Martin Luther King's closest friends. He was on the board. He was the guy who dealt with the Birmingham explosion at the First Baptist Church that killed 3 little Sunday school kids, you might remember. He was he was one of my mentors. I grew up with all of these giants whose level I will never reach, but he one day said, Cleaver, I'm going to teach you how to preach. And he said, you know, sometimes you preach a little long. And he said, but you can fix it. I don't want to tell you, anything unless I can give you advice. He said, when you're preaching and you recognize that it's getting long, you say to the crowd, I'm wrapping up now, or in conclusion, and then you go on for 15 more minutes. And he says that they won't recognize it. I'm not sure that he's right, but he was right about a lot of things that I want to talk to you about today. This coronavirus has decimated and devastated our country for now almost 2 years. And I have nothing but praise for the people I consider to be the stewards of hope, nurses. And it is a blessing to see what you're doing. I was trying to figure out how the word nursing came up. I think it's a made-up word to announce a person strong enough to tolerate the tragic and soft enough to sympathize with just about anyone. Now, it's not easy being a nurse. It's not easy being much of anything now. But you are dealing with a world right now where there's a lot of emptiness. And filling up the emptiness is God's work, which means that nurses are doing God's work. You are filling the emptiness. Nothingness is a lot heavier. And so you have this unique job because you have to deal with difficult people. I've had 11 surgeries. I think 4 at research. And I have yet to experience a hard-hearted nurse. Never. Now, I want you to understand this. If you save one life in the United States, you're called a hero. If you save 1,000, you're called a nurse. Now, people won't do right. I mean, patients. I'm the only patient that I know who followed what I was told by doctors and nurses. No, I'm serious. I'm the only person, ever. There's this, I was born and raised in Texas. There was this family leaving the Dallas area and going to a part of Texas that Texas just referred to simply as East Texas. There are a lot of little towns there, including a place called Tyler, which people think gave birth to Patrick Mahomes. He's not from Tyler, although that's what you'll hear on TV. He's from White House, Texas, which is a suburb of Tyler. Tyler has 21,000 people. Mm-hmm. So people are leaving up the Dallas area, north central Texas, going down to East Texas. And so as they're driving along, the father's driving, mother sitting next to him, and there are 2 kids in the back seat, and he's driving down, and he says to his wife, I know a shortcut that can save us an hour. She said, don't do this. And he said, no, look, I've been driving this route for years. I know what I'm doing. I can do it. And so she, of course, moved over to close as she could to the door. And he began driving. And there's a sign that says, please turn around. The bridge is out. And so his wife sees the sign and she says, Terry, turn around. He said, no. He said, people put signs up like this all the time. And he said, I know what I'm doing. I've done this many times. And so she's leaning up against the door as hard as she can. And he's driving and kind of whistling. And then he slows down. And he looks up ahead, and there's a big sign that says, bridge is out, and half the bridge is in the water. So he tries to turn around without her noticing it. And he's turned around, and he's headed back to the main highway. And when he's almost there, there's another sign that said, stupid, we told you the road was out and the bridge was down. That's what you have to get used to with your patients. They're going to, you're going to tell them that the bridge is out. And they're going to drive the road anyway. Now, what I'm hoping for is that each one of you is so committed to this that you will not turn around. This mother is at home trying to take care of, duties around the house that she had taken. She decided that she would leave her job and just kind of work around the house, take care of the kids. So she's working, and she's downstairs running the vacuum cleaner, and she hears the cat squealing. And she runs into the kitchen where the noise came from, and there is her 5-year-old trying to put the cat in the microwave. And so she rescues the cat, pushes the microwave out of the way, and goes back to working. And then the worst thing that could happen to a parent, she heard nothing. And so she starts looking. Yes, right. She goes upstairs because she's got to find him. And he has poured cereal in the toilet, and he's flushing it, and water's running out. And she's, unlike most parents like me and the others here, she lost her patience. And she grabbed him, and she said, Billy, why don't you just be good? And he said, okay, Mommy, I'll be good for some gummy bears. I'd like to have a donut and some pizza. And she said, no, Billy, why don't you just be like your daddy and be good for nothing? That's what I'm going to ask of the graduates. Look, you didn't go into nursing to make money. You didn't go into nursing to get the Nobel Peace Award. You didn't go into nursing to be recognized by the chamber or given a Presidential Medal of Honor. You went into this noble work to help and heal. You are perfect examples of people who are good for nothing. For no reason other than you are a nurse to help and heal. Good for nothing. I think you are moving into this profession at one of the most significant moments in the history, not only of our country, but of our planet, where you're needed now more than ever. And I, for one, am pleased that you are good for nothing. I'll close by just telling you that I grew up in Texas, and I didn't even live in a real house until I was about 8. We finally got a television when I was almost 10 years old, and every Friday night was my special night because I knew after the news went off, my mom and dad would go to their bedroom, and I have 3 sisters, and they would leave me too because Friday was Fright Night on Channel 5. Man. And the reason my sisters would not stay in there with me was because I cheered for the monsters. And they thought that something was wrong with me because I'm saying, get him, Drac. Get him, Frank. And I went all the way through school and then went off to college. And I'm in the dorm one night watching television. It's a monster movie on, and it clicked. I finally realized why it didn't bother me to watch the monster movies. They were never after black people. And so I called my sister and I said, hey, it's okay. We're safe. And then, after some insensitive person drove a stake through the heart of Dracula, I really moved close to the television, that old black and white television set, because for me, the best was just beginning. Back in those days, there would be something called a pattern, and a voice would come on and say, we've just entered another day of broadcasting of Channel 6. Tune in tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. when we return to the air. But that was not all. Just as his voice is drowning out, you see these soft, fluffy clouds floating across the screen. And then you could see this jet moving through the clouds. And then this golden voice orator would say, oh, I've slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the sky on lofted silvered wings. Sundered I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and I've done 100 things you've never dreamed of. I've wheeled and soared and flung high on the unlit silence. Hovering there, I've shouted the winds along. And then up, up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've climbed the windswept heights where never a lark or even an eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting minds I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, reached out my hand and touched the face of God. A man who never made it home from the war, John Gillespie McGee, wrote that, and it's called High Flight. High flight. Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to go through the years and decades to come on a high flight in this profession. Believe in yourself. Believe you can do God's will. Stay strong. Believe and achieve. And don't quit. Keep going. Work hard. Stay humble. And keep smiling. I'm almost finished now.
Thank you, Mr. Cleaver. Today's graduates are an accomplished group, and many of our student awards were presented at a ceremony earlier this week. Today, we will present students who were nominated and have been selected as the recipient of our highest award in nursing education, the Daisy Award for Outstanding Nursing Student. The Daisy Awards are given in conjunction with the Daisy Foundation. The foundation and awards were founded by the family of J. Patrick Barnes to honor nurses, nursing students, and nursing faculty. DAISY stands for Diseases Attacking the Immune System, and the award is intended to honor those who go above and beyond and make an extraordinary difference in the experiences of patients and their families. The DAISY Award for Outstanding Nursing Student recognizes a nursing student who has excelled in the clinical setting and in direct patient care. This year, 5 undergraduate students were nominated for this incredibly prestigious award. Would those nominated please stand so that we may recognize you? Victoria Blez. Aaron Clemens. Ben Costello. Michaela Johnson. Alicia Yant. And this year's recipient of the Undergraduate DAISY Award for Extraordinary Nursing Student is Alicia Yant. This year, 1 graduate student was nominated for this award, and she received multiple nominations for it. Let us please congratulate our Graduate DAISY Award for Extraordinary Nursing Student winner, Emily Milburn. The DAISY Foundation has also created an award that recognizes excellence in the classroom. To be nominated for this award, a faculty member must show demonstrated excellence in teaching, as well as care and compassion for the well-being of their students on their journey to becoming a nursing professional. We had several faculty members nominated for this award, and now I'll announce the nominees. Would the nominees please stand when your name is called? Dr. Maite Enriquez. Shanna Foley. Rosalia Molina. Julia Payne. Dr. Sarah Pritchard. Patton Rainey. And the 2021 DAISY Award for Extraordinary Nursing Faculty recipient is Rosalia Molina. I now invite Dr. Thad Wilson, President of Research College of Nursing, to the podium for the conferring of degrees. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree please stand? President Wilson, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing and are recommended to you by the faculty of Research College of Nursing for the conferral of this degree.
On recommendation of the faculty of Research College of Nursing and by the authority vested in me by the state of Missouri and the governing board of Research College of Nursing, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations, you may be seated.
Will the candidates for the Master of Science in Nursing degree please stand? President Wilson, these candidates, having completed all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Nursing, are recommended to you by the faculty of Research College of Nursing for the conferring of this degree.
On recommendation of the faculty of Research College of Nursing and by the authority vested in me by the state of Missouri and the governing board of Research College of Nursing, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Master of Science in Nursing with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations, you may be seated.
We will now present Bachelor of Science in Nursing graduates with their pins and diplomas. Please stand and proceed to the stage. Graduates will be pinned by Dean Dr. Rebecca Saxton and Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education Dr. Glenna Mahoney. Alexis Bertrand. Jessica Green. Diane Everett Bologna. John Barry. Amy McCullum. Riley Davis. Anna Bachtel. Amelia Rachel Johnson. Heather Seaton. Cole Ryan Kenny. Brooke Jones. Samuel Langer. Elizabeth Joy Harrod. Jennifer McCoy. Lisa Luck. Cameron Kafer. Haley Gant. Margaret Harrington. Daly Klein. Sable Campa. Risha Shelton. Brianna Bartosh. Melissa Marie Lowry. Adam Sklamberg. Alex Prestovich. Allison Lemka. Russell Walter. Benjamin Costello. JC Garcia. Anna Rose Colagrossi. Paige Fraker. Lauren Taylor Jewell. Jordan Lindsay. Cameron Carlson. Madison Cunningham. Samantha Ellen Fields. Mary Alessandra Garcia. Erica Kirsten Hammond. Arunma Ogbuagu. Tisha Alicia Hayes. Abigail Davis. Delaney Bottoms. Alicia Yount. Nathan Schrader. Salvador Hernandez II. John McDonald. Jake Liston. Katie Padilla. Julia Brannon. Rachel Evans. Nicole Wilson. Brittany Korth. McKenna Nolan. Kelly Akimoto. Kristen Soykan. Hannah Warren. Lindsay Page. Lindsay White. Hannah Jean Bateman. Christopher Datar Newbert. Taylor Wolkin. Amanda Larison. Asif Ali. Paula Santibanez Pacheco. Shanika Prendergast. Gershom Aqua. Emmanuel Omotayo. Jalea Johnson. Shanice Bailey. Victoria Blez. Chinia Obafor. Alexandria Wells. Michaela Rianne Johnson. Erin Christine Clemens. We will now present our Master of Science in Nursing graduates with their hoods and diplomas. Will the graduates please stand and proceed to the stage? Graduates will be hooded by Dean Dr. Rebecca Saxton and Associate Dean for Graduate Education, Dr. Maite Enriquez. Ying Yang, Family Nurse Practitioner. Joy Moss, Family Nurse Practitioner. Taylor McGovern, Family Nurse Practitioner. Emily Hoover, Family Nurse Practitioner. David Munyon, Family Nurse Practitioner. Gladys Wachira Carter, Family Nurse Practitioner. Saval Sarah Erdogan, Family Nurse Practitioner Certificate. Shelby Jackson, Family Nurse Practitioner. Emily Milburn, Family Nurse Practitioner. Alexis Aaron Veldier, Executive Practice and Healthcare Leadership. Carly Andrews, Executive Practice and Healthcare Leadership. Rebecca Saline, Executive Practice and Healthcare Leadership. Sarah Tanis, Family Nurse Practitioner. Sherry Neidiger, Family Nurse Practitioner. Abigail Vaupel, Family Nurse Practitioner. Kara Strecker, Family Nurse Practitioner. Caroline Elizabeth Eisenhardt, Family Nurse Practitioner. Amanda Kate Lockhart, Family Nurse Practitioner. Kathleen Fullerton, Family Nurse Practitioner Certificate. Latreya Ann Nielsen, Family Nurse Practitioner. Jessica Levering, Family Nurse Practitioner. Kara Pruitt, Family Nurse Practitioner. Deanna Genevieve Thompson, Family Nurse Practitioner. Alexis Foster Horton, Family Nurse Practitioner. Amalia Albor, Family Nurse Practitioner. Madison Zekel, Adult Gerontological Nurse Practitioner. Diana Lopez, Family Nurse Practitioner. Matthew Daniel, Family Nurse Practitioner. Hannah Marie Lewis, Family Nurse Practitioner. Rachel Elizabeth Redlin, Family Nurse Practitioner. Jennifer Strebe, Executive Practice and Healthcare Leadership.
We're going to wait just a moment so that the people who are getting their photos taken can come back out before we finish this celebration up. So just, oh, okay, well. So the person who's in charge of this, Kaylee Lehman, really needs a standing ovation. Kaylee, just step out for a second. I kid her that, in my opinion, this is like planning the biggest wedding of your life every single year and twice a year for her. So thank you to her, all of the team, and the people that make this happen. I also want to recognize some people here that may have had a part in all of this, and I feel like maybe you would like to thank them. Would the faculty please stand? Don't have the signal yet. I could tell jokes, but we've already heard some great stories today. I don't want to try and outdo that. So this is the day for which I entered education. I mean, I enjoy the teaching of the classes. I enjoy the interaction with the students, but it's all for this one thing, and that is to celebrate you today. And you need celebrating. I cannot imagine what it was like on your side of this coin during a pandemic. I know how tough it was on our side. It seemed like every day we would spend an hour or two, we'd make a decision, and we'd communicate that decision to you, and by the afternoon, that decision was not necessary anymore, or it was overridden by something else. So I can hardly imagine what it was like to be on your side, trying to figure out what needed to be done, when and where and how. But you did it. As both of your speakers said today, you did it. So today, you are joining a very illustrious group of people, the alumni of Research College of Nursing. And I want you to know that you're not alone, that there are people here and online that are Research College of Nursing alumni. So if you are an alumnus of Research College of Nursing, would you please stand at this time so you can be recognized? Okay, you just failed your first test. I said you were now joining the ranks of alumni. You should have stood along with all of them. We'll do that again later maybe and see if you do a little better with the next time round, okay? The truth is, we really do look forward to seeing many of you in the halls of Research Medical Center and other hospitals in the area, or maybe in some other area. We look forward to receiving care from you as a nurse practitioner, or recognizing your talent as a nurse leader and a nurse administrator. We look forward, and I can say this because I'm getting pretty old, I look forward to receiving care from you, because I know you have been well educated and well prepared. So we're going to put a little plug in here. We're hopeful that sometime in the near future, some of you will serve as preceptors, as mentors, to help the next generation or the next class or two of nursing students. It's important you can look back on your education and say, well, here's the preceptors, the mentors that helped me. You could be that person. So we encourage you to do that, because we think you're ready for it. And maybe someday, you will recognize the importance of being, how did you put it? someone for nothing? Something like that. Good for nothing, yeah, that's it. And you will want to come back and be a faculty member because they don't get paid anything, and yet they are here because of the desire in their heart to educate the next generation and to enjoy these days. So I do encourage you to consider that as a calling, because it truly is. I believe faculty don't just teach, they actually touch lives. So each of you has played a vital role in the continuing success of Research College of Nursing and its legacy in Kansas City community. We know that this program is not done without a significant amount of sacrifice on the parts of people important to you. So we've handed out certificates earlier this week, so I'm going to ask at this time, if you are a child of the graduate, would you please stand, and if you've got your certificate, wave it so that we can celebrate you and all the hard work you did. So children, stand up and let's, there you go, cheer them on. Now, I could go through the entire litany of significant others and moms and dads and aunt and uncles, and particularly anybody that signed a checkbook out there. Well, we don't do checks anymore. Use the credit card. We celebrate all of you as well. We know that these graduates would not be here, but we do want to move along. We do want to congratulate our graduates once again. And in closing, if you have a problem with loud noises, you may want to plug your ears when I lift my hands up, because we are truly going to celebrate you today as the newest members of Research College of Nursing graduates. Okay. Kaylee always warns me that if I go off script, which I have done, I'm going to forget something. Those of you that are getting your bachelor's degree, would you please move your tassels from the right to the left, signifying that you are officially a graduate now. Immediately following the ceremony, we're going to ask the guests to leave the theater. We're going to be taking some group pictures in here with our graduates. We do ask the graduates to remain here in the theater and let everybody else leave. We thank you for being here today, and again, congratulations to our class of 2021. And graduates, faculty, and esteemed guests will now recess out and then come right back in, okay?